Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. What's up, friends? It's Michelle Grosser here. You're listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been around for a minute, welcome back. I'm so grateful for all of you. We're going to talk about common stress responses today, being in fight or flight or freeze. But before we jump into that, have you guys registered for the summer cohort of Restore yet? I am so excited for it. Man, what if you could start feeling better today? And all you needed was an understanding of your nervous system and really simple body-based exercises to help you unlock the stress cycle. According to today.com, 83% of women, that's us, you guys, are experiencing burnout. That is a wild statistics. There's so many different symptoms of burnout and nervous system dysregulation that you might relate to, right? Maybe you've just been feeling beat, like exhausted and fatigued for so long. Maybe you're always busy. You have a hard time slowing down. Maybe you have trouble concentrating. You feel like you're in a constant state of brain fog. Maybe you're just overwhelmed and anxious and stressed, and like that's exhausting too, right? Maybe you're having a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep or struggling with insomnia. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's like emotional volatility. You're just feeling irritable and kind of edgy and angry all the time. Or maybe it's some physical symptoms, right? Maybe it's gut issues or IBS or PMS or unresolved aches and pains, autoimmune conditions. Like all of this stuff, you guys, are symptoms of nervous system dysregulation. And I want to teach you how to regulate your nervous system, how to heal from all of this stuff in a few short weeks. So if you are interested in joining Restore, if you're listening to this live, we start next week, the week of June 17th. So head on over. The link is in the show notes, michellegrosser.com/restore. You can learn all about it there. All the information is there. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM or an email at hello@michellegrosser.com. I want you to be a part of it. If it feels aligned, if it feels like the right time, if it feels like a full body yes, let's do this together. Okay, let's talk about fight or flight or freeze. When our nervous system perceives some sort of stress, some sort of threat, like anything that feels unsafe, our nervous system shifts into survival mode, right? It shifts into a stress response in order for us to be able to do exactly that, right? Respond to the stressor, respond to the threat accordingly so we can, survive. Now, thousands of years ago, that threat looked very different than it looks today, right? Thousands of years ago, that threat might have been, a lion in the brush or some other animal trying to steal our young or eat us or whatever it was. Today, that stress looks like so many things, right? But an overpacked schedule, a demanding boss or workspace, the mental load of motherhood, like I could go on all day. But here's the thing, our brain doesn't really know the difference, right? Our brain hasn't really evolved to be able to effectively differentiate between an actual threat to our safety, like being chased by a lion, or like a nasty email or a nasty comment from our coworker or, whatever it is, something that's not an actual physical threat to our safety. It's just stress. But our physiology responds in the same way, right? The same chemicals are released in our body. The same thing happens with our different systems. Our body kind of responds in the same way, our heart and our breathing and all these different things, whether it's an actual threat to our safety or just something that's perceived. So when we talk about these stress responses, 3 of the most common are fight, flight, and freeze, right? You've probably heard of these before. Fight and flight, fight or flight, fight and flight, both arise from our sympathetic nervous system. Now, our sympathetic nervous system is like the gas pedal in a car, right? It's activating energy. It's the circuit of our nervous system that mobilizes us, right? It prepares our body to run or to fight in order to respond to a perceived threat. Freeze is a function of our parasympathetic nervous system. It's called a dorsal vagal collapse when we're in a freeze response. Now, our parasympathetic circuit is not the gas pedal. Instead, it's like the brake pedal in our car. So when it's functioning properly, our parasympathetic circuit of our nervous system kind of slows us down, right? It can calm us down. It can help us feel relaxed. We need it to be activated in order to fall asleep and sleep well, rest. However, in a dorsal vagal collapse, that's when we experience the freeze response. It's like our nervous system is just like slamming on the brakes, right? It's this sudden stop, a freeze. It's immobilizing. Our body's like so overwhelmed by the stress, the threat, whatever it's perceiving, that our body cannot run. It cannot fight, right? There's no fight or flight. It freezes instead. That's the chosen defense mechanism. Our nervous system's like, freezing is the best chance that I have for survival right now, right? I'm just going to shut it all down, conserve our resources, dissociate, disconnect, essentially play dead in order to survive. Now, it's important that we grow, all of us, in awareness of each of these states of our nervous system so that we can start to notice, like, what does it look like? What does it feel like when I'm in a flight response, when I'm in a fight response, when I'm in a freeze response? And the reason why it's so important that we grow in awareness of each of these states of our nervous system is because awareness always precedes choice, you guys. We cannot intervene in a world that we cannot see, i.e., we can't do anything about something that we don't know exists, right? Like if I don't know I'm in a fight or flight response, I can't do anything about it. But when we start to notice and we're like, I'm in a flight response right now, then you can use the tools that I teach to help bring safety to your body, and that will help bring safety to your nervous system, and that will allow you to shift out of that stress response and come back into a regulated, safe place. This is the foundation of nervous system regulation, you guys, just starting to notice the state that you're in. So many of us, and really, society at large, people are living in a fight or flight or freeze response, and they have no idea, right? They've been in survival mode for so long that all of these symptoms, these ways of being, ways of thinking, things that are happening in our body, it just seems normal. It seems normal because it's so common, but normal and common are 2 very different things, right? So many people are, just miserable, and they think that's how they were created. They think it's how they're wired. They think that's how life has to be. And what I want you to get today, more than anything else, is that it doesn't have to be that way for you. You do not have to live in a fight or flight or freeze response. So what I want to do is I want you to I'm going to go through each of these briefly. I want to give you guys an idea of what it looks like and feels like and how it kind of manifests when we're in a fight response, a flight response, or a freeze response. And as I'm going through them, you guys, I want you to just get curious. Like, get curious about where and when in your life you might be operating in one of these stress responses. Because here's the thing, if you've been living with chronic stress, if you've been living with unresolved trauma for a long time, a lot of this is probably going to resonate. And there's no shame in this, right? In fact, if this lands, if you're like resonating with a lot of these characteristics of these different stress responses, I want you to know that your body is actually doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It's actually predictable, these responses. Your body's doing what it thinks it needs to be doing in order to protect you and to keep you safe, right? It's an automatic body-based reaction based on things that you've experienced, things that you've lived through. So I want you to make this personal as I'm going through these. Like think which of these really applies to you. Like maybe you can even start to notice what brings on a particular stress response. Okay, so let's start with fight or flight response. In a fight or flight response, remember, this is the gas pedal, right? So this is a very activated energy that you're going to feel. You're going to feel really restless, anxious, irritable, maybe even panicked. You're going to kind of feel hypervigilant. You're always looking. You're worrying a lot. In your body, you might feel physically tense. That's your sympathetic nervous system. Now, specifically with a fight response, what might you do or how might you feel when you're in a fight response? Well, in a fight response, as you might expect, you're probably going to feel pretty edgy, right? You might wake up just in a bad mood. You're edgy, you're irritable. You find that you're just like, your fuse is super short. You're just wanting to snap at the littlest things, right? You're kind of reactive. Maybe you're yelling at your kids more than you usually do, or you're taking it out on your partner, your husband. You're just kind of frustrated, right? Like it's little things that are setting you off. If you're in a fight response, you might also have a really loud inner critic. Maybe you have an inner voice that can be really, just like really harsh. On a physical level, like your breathing might change. When we're in that sympathetic nervous system, right? How do we breathe when we're facing a threat and we're preparing to run or fight, right? It's not these low, slow, long, deep breaths. It's more of like a short, shallow, rapid breathing. Our heart rate will even start to race when we're in a fight response. We might feel ourselves getting really defensive. So if you're like, yeah, that's me, I get so defensive so quickly, that's a sign of a fight response, right? You feel like you have to defend yourself all the time. And we're just like, the sarcasm is kind of seeping out, or we're feeling really judgmental, or we're starting to blame others. Those are all signs that we can be in a fight response. And then on the physical level, you might be experiencing a lot of muscle tension if you're in a fight response. So maybe you have like a really tight jaw, even right now, right? Maybe your tongue is pressed to the roof of your mouth. Maybe you have TMJ, or you have had to wear like a night guard because you grind your teeth. Maybe the tension is more in your neck or your shoulders or your back. Like these are all signs that you may be in a fight response. Let's talk about flight. What might you be doing, or what might it feel like when you're in a flight response? Well, in a flight response, what do you want to do, right? Your body, every fiber in your being wants to run. It wants to flee. It wants to escape. So if you find that you're someone who can be quite fidgety, like maybe your legs are always bouncing, or your hands are always like moving, or you're always like picking at your cuticles or picking at something. If you're constantly moving, if your feet are always tapping, or you find yourself like pacing or just shifting positions frequently, like all of that indicates a desire to move, right? A readiness to flee in your nervous system, all signs that you might be in a flight response. A flight response is also like escapism 101. So if you can tend to run the pattern of being a workaholic, or like online shopping, or needing that glass of wine or a drink to take the edge off, all of that, getting lost in like books or music or meditation, those can all be symptoms of a flight response, right? I'm escaping, I'm fleeing. Anxiety, if you struggle with anxiety, if you experience it, chronically, or if have had bouts of anxiety, anxiety is one of the most common symptoms of a flight response. Maybe you're someone who overthinks a lot. Maybe you have that like pit in your stomach, like the butterflies, either in your stomach or your chest. You have no appetite. All of that can be signs that you're in a flight response. Your body's in a flight response. Overwhelm, right? If you ever walk into something, or like you sit down to start a project, or even like the laundry, you like walk into where your laundry is, and you just get this sudden urge to like turn around and leave or escape from this like overwhelm, maybe even into a sense of like panic or this urgency, that's a flight response, right? So any of these, if you've experienced them or are experiencing them on the regular, just a heads up, just a kind of a flag waving like, hey, body, we're in a flight response, right? We need safety to be able to shift back to a place of regulation. And then the freeze response. The freeze response is that shutdown response, right? It's not the gas pedal, it's the brake. It's the brake being slammed. So when you are in a shutdown freeze response, how might you feel, right? Exhausted, disconnected, emotionally numb. If you're not really feeling much of anything, if you're just feeling stuck, like maybe it feels like life is like trudging through molasses for you. It just feels harder than for everyone else, or you just feel like you can't make progress, or you can't reach your goals, or you can't get to the next thing, or you can't even like get off the couch. That's a good sign that you're in a freeze response. This feeling that you are immobile. So this feeling that you cannot move or you cannot speak, like feeling physically paralyzed. Maybe some of you can relate to that, or unable to like articulate your thoughts. That often happens when we're in a freeze response. I actually remember this. I remember this happening to me when I was a kid, when I would get in trouble. Like I don't even remember specific, like why, or specific details about what was going on. But I remember I would like get in trouble for something. And I don't know, like my mom or my dad would be like asking me questions like, why would you do that? Or yelling at me or whatever it was. Right. And I just remember like these moments where someone was directly asking me something. And I guess I was so scared. I don't know why, but my little nervous system just shut down in a freeze response. And I remember like thinking thoughts, but literally being unable to like say anything, right? Like unable to vocalize my response. It also happened to me once in law school. I was like cold called and I just froze. Like I could not answer the professor's question. I don't even know what happened. So maybe you guys have had a moment like that where you just like literally could not get the words out. A freeze response. Numbness, detachment, right? Like I was saying earlier, feeling like you're not feeling much of anything, or also feeling like sometimes people describe it to me like they feel like they're having an out-of-body experience. Like either they're watching themselves from the outside or they're kind of watching events from outside their own body. Those are all signs that your nervous system is in a freeze response. Difficulty moving, right? Kind of talked about that. Maybe it's hard to get out of bed in the morning, in the afternoon, like anytime during the day. Spacing out. If you find that you're someone who can get lost in like scrolling social media, watching Netflix, and you look up and it's like, wow, it's been, 30 minutes. It's been an hour. It's been 2 hours. Maybe just even like staring into space, right? Your kids are like, Mom, and you're like, what? Like you were just zoning out, right? You were daydreaming. You weren't paying attention. Maybe you even do that while you're driving or in conversation where you like get somewhere and you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't even remember driving here. Like, I don't even remember driving home from work. How did I get here? Right? If you're spacing out, dissociating, disconnected, that's a sign that you're in a freeze response. A big one too is procrastination. So many people are so hard on themselves for procrastinating, and they think it's because they're lacking in discipline or motivation or, whatever it is. Maybe more likely your body is in a freeze response and you need tools to shift out of that freeze response. And you'll find that that tendency to procrastinate will dissipate. When we are burnt out, when we are experiencing chronic tiredness, chronic fatigue, a lot of that happens in a freeze response, right? Our body is just shut down and burnt out. Now, those are a lot of different symptoms. Those are a lot of different ways you might be experiencing fight, flight, or freeze. Maybe you resonate with one in particular. Maybe you resonate with all three. You can actually go between all of these states and kind of shift in and out of them, in a day. But here's the thing I want you guys to take with you. Here's the best news. You can get your body out of these survival modes with somatic release work, learning how to unlock the stress cycle so your body feels safe enough to shift out of fight, flight, or freeze and back into a place of homeostasis, of safety, of rest, right? Relaxing, regulation. And guys, this is exactly what I teach, what I will teach you inside of Restore, right? We're going to take a look at exactly how to shift your nervous system out of a stress cycle and into regulation. I'm going to give you guys some micro habits that you can start to incorporate to bring safety to your body, to regulate your nervous system. We're going to take a look at how you're currently coping with stress, right? And we're going to tweak your coping mechanisms and put some really healthy boundaries and parameters around them so you have better coping mechanisms. We're going to talk about emotions. We're going to talk about boundaries. We're going to talk about so many different things, and you're going to be able to release years of pent up survival energy, you guys, years of pent up stress, years of pent up stored trauma out of your body through these somatic release exercises and practices that I'm going to give you, that I'm going to teach you. And shortly after you start Restore, guys, even in week 1, week 2, you're going to start feeling more calm. You're going to start feeling more relaxed, more present, less irritable, less snappy. You're going to be more focused. You're going to be more productive than ever before. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be in a better mood. I'm telling you guys, it's a big, big deal. I've seen it. I've been working, with women on this stuff for a while, but this is our 3rd cohort of Restore. And every time it's just so rewarding to see the women as they come into Restore and then as they leave Restore, just with feeling so much better, right? With so many tools and a deeper understanding of how to regulate their particular body, their particular nervous system. So after you leave Restore, you're going to be your nervous system is going to be regulated. You're actually going to create new neural pathways in your brain, right? So you can naturally shift out of fight, out of flight, out of freeze more efficiently. You're going to feel so much lighter. I mean, I'm talking emotionally, I'm talking physically, I'm talking spiritually. Like, you're going to have so much more energy. And inside of Restore, you guys, I give you step-by-step guidance along the way. Like, I am there to hold your hand in this program. So this is the last call for the summer cohort. We start on June 17th. So next Monday, if you're listening to this live, all the lessons each week, like there's a theme each week or a topic. All those lessons are pre-recorded. You can watch them. You can listen to them on your own time. You can listen to them in the car. You can listen to them when you're doing stuff around the house. You can listen to them in the evening after the kids go to bed, like whatever time works best for you. There's probably about a half hour or so of lessons and materials each week. So this is totally doable. I've created something that you can do when you're coming into Restore in a state of overwhelm. Like, we all have a ton going on. I get that. And then on Thursdays at 12:30 Eastern, we meet on Zoom for an hour. And we all meet there. That's where I coach you guys live, answer all your questions, give you guidance on what it is that you're experiencing. Some of the weeks I walk you through different body-based somatic release practices, answer, all your questions. It's super individualized on those calls. And if you can't make it live, I record them and then I upload them to a link that you have so you can watch them. You're not going to miss anything. So man, if you've been thinking about Restore, or if you really resonate with any of these stress responses that we talked about today, or any of the other symptoms in regulating your nervous system, I just want to leave you with this hope, right? This hope that you do not have to parent like this. You don't have to work like this. You do not have to be like this in your marriage, any area of your life, right? There is healing and regulation and transformation available to you. However, you've got to take action, right? That's like the catch. You've got to take action. No one can do it for you. I can give you all the steps. I can teach you, equip you, resource you, like surround you with really powerful, encouraging community. But at the end of the day, you've got to jump into Restore. You've got to commit, an hour a week for the next few weeks to really make this investment, this time and energy investment into yourself and ultimately your family and every other area in your life. Because learning how to regulate your nervous system is so powerful, you guys. So if you want to join, head over to michellegrosser.com/restore. The link is in the show notes. Make it the summer that you regulated your nervous system, right? Before school starts again in the fall, before the holidays come around and everything just gets crazy. Do it now, guys. I know no time probably feels like the best time, but let me tell you, when that's the case, now usually is the best time, right? Restore, regulated nervous system. It's honestly the greatest investment. It truly does trickle down every other area of your life. So make this decision, take this stand for yourself. I would love to meet you guys there. I would love to coach you there. And I would love to see you leave, restore, truly transformed. All right, my friends, take care. I love you guys so much. I will see you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.